When I started telling my story online, it just felt all wrong. To me, personal branding is not about, making a sale or generating leads or demands. Hey, my name is Dayal Punjabi. I am a copywriter, a ghostwriter, a content strategist specializing in LinkedIn, and a personal brand strategist. I've collaborated with founders, coaches, C-level executives, as well as marketers in B2C and B2B, and ghostwriters to make sure to build an audience and make them top of mind in their audience's minds. I also coach young professionals, turning them into personal brands to make sure they generate inbound leads through demand generation. And after generating millions of views and leads and engagement for my clients, I am here to tell you one secret. Just that those numbers may not matter. When I started telling my story online, it just felt all wrong. Like there was no goal with that story unless the fact that I wanted to share it online. Maybe it was imposter syndrome, maybe not. But I'm pretty sure every content creator feels the same at some point in their journey. Oh, who will watch or read my content? Is it even worth it? Who knows? Neither did I, nor do I know right now. But the point is that I really did tell my story online. And the numbers were not huge. In fact, I think I got just like 10 likes on that. But the way people actually reeled it, people were okay to come in and encourage and even feel connected to my story. In fact, I would like to share a story right now as well. This is way back last year when I did not have any freelancing gigs. I remember I used to post a lot about me and my dad and how he encouraged me in my journey. He is no more, but I remember posting it online and people would often love the content and love the stories. There was this guy and he was from Africa. I'm not going to mention the name or the space but he reached out to me and he booked one of these sessions online. And when the day came, I went online and we sat in the meeting. He popped up and I was like, hey, so, we introduced each other and I went on and I was like, let's start with this aspect. And he was like, no, I'm actually not interested in any sort of personal branding session. I was like, what? It was surreal because, usually when people would come to me or book these sessions, it was for personal branding. And I was confused because we didn't know each other personally, but at the same time, we were people who would always show up in each other's comment sections. We were both up and coming and we were still growing. So I was like, what next? Like, what do you want to talk about? I was like, okay, let's just catch up. Maybe that's why he booked this call, because we just meet each other online and we never actually had a proper conversation. He was like, I actually want to speak to you about your dad. And that took me aback a little bit. I remember I was kind of like, what do you want to speak about my dad to me? For me, there were several things coming up in my mind because my dad is also from Africa. So I was like, has he met my father or has something else happened? But the first thing he said was that he loves the posts, he loves the stories that I share with the audiences about my dad. And I was taken aback again because that was sweet. But then there was something he said that really made me feel very full. I remember he just said he's trying to build his own relationship with his father. He's also young. I think he was of my age group. But they lived separately. And he was like, every day, there's a little bit more of an effort. We try to meet up. We try to do something together. And that my posts were really something that helped him get a new perspective or just look at it in a different light. For some reason, that moment over there went silent for I think about 5 seconds or something. And I kept thinking, okay, how do I respond to that? Because I felt like there was no right way to respond to it. But he spoke about it and, I tried to be as receptive as possible about that. And we spoke a little bit more about, how me and my father spend time, or we try to build our relationship. And it was different. It was the first time, I think, in one of these sessions where nothing was overthought. There was nothing so technical, and it was just two human beings actually speaking with each other, expressing themselves and expressing your deepest emotions and your deepest doubts, which is what human beings are meant to do, I guess. And that moment, I shared it with my father because he was there, and I shared it with him, and it made him happy as well. But, to me, that is personal branding. This story, it's exactly what exemplifies why you should share your stories online and why you build a personal brand. In fact, to me, personal branding is not about, making a sale or generating leads or demands, entering podcasts and showing this lavish life you live, or just vlogging 24/7 and showing everyone your daily routine and bragging about how much money you earn. And I'm not calling anyone out, people do what people do and to each one's own. But at the same time, I feel personal branding is really about understanding who you are and where you come from and all the values that you carry within yourself. How you share it with others in form of stories, in form of education and knowledge, and however it may be, through whatever medium. It could be videos, it could be written posts, no matter what. The point is that whatever you hold dear to yourself, you understand that. Personal branding is so spiritual. It can be so uplifting, and it can help you trace your ways back to yourself and understand who you are and what you are and what you do. That is personal brand. After that, I felt like there was no turning back. I couldn't not tell my story online. And to be honest, the point of it is, whatever you share online is part of what you reflect, or is part of who you are. It somewhat became a compulsion to make sure that there is some sort of authenticity, at least a certain percentage of authenticity in the type of content that I share online. And having written quite literally thousands of stories at this point, whether it's for me or for my clients or even for my friends, there's this one thing I've noted down that works exceptionally well before you share your story online. So right before you share your story online, you need to do this exercise. Just ask yourself two questions. The first one is, why is it important to you that you share the story online? And the second one is, why is it important that your audience knows this story? And if you can somewhat find a unanimous answer to both these questions, then that story is gonna hit the right marks. If you like this video, you can check out my social media links below. You can like and share and subscribe. This is where we put in the button subscribe.